Well, no matter how many meetings you have like this, how many talks you have, you can't cover every situation you're going to come up against. You can't train for it. So you have to have a formula for success. And it's very much like the highway patrolman up in Colorado, the I-25 where it was, down by Pueblo. He went out there, bad accident. He said, white car and left, ditch. Ditch, D-I-R-B-I-T, ditch, D-O-R, ditch. D-I-T-C-H. Yeah, then he went across the interstate, bad accident. He got on and said, purple car and right, D-I-T-C-H, ditch. And he got back in the middle. Tremendously bad accident. Victim's head in medium, M-E-E-T, medium, M-E-I, medium, M-E-T. Victim's head in left ditch, D-I-T-C-H. Now that sucker's going to succeed. He has a formula for success, and I suggest you get the same thing in your life. Something you do and make it work. I'm telling you the truth. It's one of those things that you just got to have a formula to make it work. Now, at school, I went to the University of Oklahoma. Boy, I love school. That first semester, I had study hall, pool hall, alcohol, and dance hall. You were in my class, I think. But I was playing baseball, and I had to drop that study hall because you can't carry a heavy load in study hall too. But anyway, that first semester I had a great time, but I made 13 hours of F and 2 hours of D. I made 2 hours of D in military science, ROTC. And when you do that poorly, they send you out to the North Base, the psychologist looking, he's reading, and he said, now Holder, you made 5 hours F in chemistry, 3 hours F in English, 2 hours. He got down and said, you made 2 hours of D in military science. What seemed to be the problem? You did fine, you're interested, you're in top of the group. What's happened here? Now get the picture. I'm wearing my high school leather jacket. I'm 6'4", 210 pounds. I'm a walking stallion. And I said, hey, man, I think I studied too much on ROTC stuff and didn't spread it out, you know. You know, he didn't even laugh. He didn't think that was funny at all. Somebody else didn't think it's funny, my dad. Now, you got to understand about my dad. See, my dad's an old Indian fighter. That's mainly because Mama's an old Indian. She is Indian. She went to Indian school. I'm an 8th Cherokee, and so we had a great time. But my dad's an oil field worker, 43 years, worked in the oil field. 6'2", 200 pounds, hard. His forearms bigger than your thigh. Worked hard. I said, man, I give him that report card. He's going to take away my car and kill me or something worse. And I waited till he's in a rocking chair after supper, and I gave him that report card. He looked at it, and he just slumped. He slumped like the breath of life went out of him. Have you ever seen your daddy cry? I was 17 and a half. I'd never seen a tear this big oil field worker, but he cried that night. And finally he looked up, a tear in his eye, and he said, son, you know your mama's got a 10th grade education and I only got through the 8th before Mama died and I had to go to work, and you're the first one in our whole family tree to get to go off to college. And we had hoped you'd get an education and maybe get one of those degrees. You talk about feeling low. I let him down. But something else happened. At that point, wild horses couldn't have kept me from graduating. You see, our attitude changed 180 degrees. And that's the way it happens sometimes. It may be at home. It may be at church. It may be at school. It might be at this meeting, or maybe at an emergency room of a hospital. But you have the power to change your attitude. I hadn't had a serious thought in my life. Another prone for the car, ball games, girls. You hair-legged guys know what I'm talking about. We were just that way. But I went back. I said, Dad, if you'll give me another chance, I'll never disappoint you again. I got a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, Bachelor of Arts degree in Geology, years of graduate work in Physics. You can go as high as you can reach, but you got to reach. You got to reach. I'm hoping that settles in on you. I want to select somebody in an unusual manner here for this next particular part. I'm going to throw this over. All right. Man, right here on the end. That's right. Would you come up right up here, please? Come right up. She asked me earlier, can I be on the program? I'm sure you can be on the program. Come on up. Ma'am, I want you to pick a card. And your name?
Tony.
All right, this is Phyllis Flapjaw. She's going to pick pick your card there. Quickly, pick a card. All right, get your card. Show everybody your card. Hold up, show everybody your card in the front and the back. If you pay attention during this little short presentation and all the people we've had this attitude things, we guarantee we can cut your problems in half. I don't care if it's money problems, marriage problems, car problems, all kinds of things. Attitude is so strong. I've seen it. And to prove I can do it, I'll take that card right here. Make this card be the same suit as what card you have. What suit is that card? This is now a club. Blank when I put it up there, but I willed it to be a club. You've got to have the willpower and make it happen. I'll take the value of the card you have and cut it in half. Prove what I'm telling you true about cutting it in half. If you got a 10, this will be a 5. Or if you got a 4, this will be a 2. What's the value of that card? I'll cut it in half. Don't jack with me now. For my next trick, I'm going to do... You know what, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about something very important in your life and business, integrity and character. Are you aware your integrity and character are one of the few things in life that you give away? Nobody takes that from you. Is your word good? Do you pay back the $5 you borrowed? Are you on time with the meeting? We all know what that means. I'll never lie to you. You take a 7 of clubs and cut it in half, you get a 3.5 of clubs. I don't have time for a written test, but I want the smartest person in the room to represent the whole group. Oh, right here. She raised her hand right here. No, you stay right there. She's there. She's going like that. She didn't want y'all to know, but she's going to. What's your name? Jenny. All right, get her name. She's going to be. I want you to. Now, this is if you have a receptive mind, because that's what you need to all this convention meeting. You need to have a receptive mind to receive the information and then apply it. I'm thinking of a card that's on the deck of cards. I want you to think of your card, any card you want to in the deck of cards. What card are you thinking of? Yes, I'll know. What is it?
Queen of Spades.
Did I tell you to say that? No, I've never met you, have I? Do you believe the Queen of Spades is on that card? You do? You're right. Every card in the deck is on that card. For you volunteer and you get a copy of my book here, and I'll give it to you. Don't get away from it. You know, I'm called a motivational speaker, and that's kind of a misnomer, because motivate's a French word, mover, which means to move oneself. I would hope I'd be called a stimulator. I stimulate you and you do it. I'm not going to be in your shoes helping you do your job, but if you're stimulated, you can do it. And I might tell you a story to explain it a little deeper. A journalist, all journalists want to write a book, and this journalist is going to write his book. And he's out in the cemetery, and his book is going to be unusual epitaphs. You know, epitaphs like, I told you I was sick. So he's copying these down in the cemetery late in the evening, almost dark, and all of a sudden a cloudburst kind of rain just come pouring down on him. Now the trail back to the car goes around that way, and it just rains, so he cuts across the cemetery, headed for the car. He got over there, and he didn't see this open grave, and he fell in this grave. Now normally he could have gotten out. He's jumping and jumping. He's just slick enough he couldn't make it. After 5 or 6 minutes, he fell back in there. I just have to wait till tomorrow. I can't get out. It wasn't 2 minutes. Somebody else out there was cutting across. The same deal. He fell into that grave. And he, too, started trying to jump out of there, but he couldn't make it. And the guy who touched him on the shoulder said, it's no use, you can't get out. But he did. When he touched him on the shoulder, he stimulated him. He came out of that grave. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've been stimulated today by the bevy of speakers we've had here. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, thank you. I've never seen a standing ovation before, Bob. That's for our group. But let me leave with a closing thought. If you can change your attitude, you can change your life. Thank you, Bob.